Good morning, Leo. This is your reading. Um, Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. If you're interested in finding out more about astrology or tarot cards, then I have an opportunity for membership on my channel, so I can sort of give you a little bit more of a heads up on how the tarot and the astrology combine. If you are a Leo sun, so that means you identify as a Leo, it is only one aspect of your chart. It is your sun sign, generally. But you also have some other really important aspects to you, your moon, your rising. Those particular three are very pertinent to your personality. So if you watch videos and Leo is not resonating with you, then you can always watch your moon sign. If you are interested in finding out about that, you can go to one of the sites that offers you a natal chart or a birth chart by just Googling those. You will need the details of your birth, such as your place of birth and your date of birth. Some people say to me, I don't know what time I was born. That is fine. You can still get a chart which will show you where the planets were when you were born. If you have your time of birth, even better, because you can get your rising or your ascendant. Most of those charts will give you sort of a general idea if you put in a basic time. There are people out there who can actually work out what time of the day you were born. So the other way you can do it is, if you're really adventurous, you could put in a rough time and see if the sign that comes up resonates with you. And you might have to do that 3 or 4 times before you find something that you feel really comfortable with, but you can do it that way. Okay, so Leo, this is your reading. We are going to use the Radiant Rider, no, not the Radiant, yeah, the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot for this reading. All right. Oh, we got a double split here. That's interesting. I'm going to give them a little bit more of a shuffle. That doesn't happen very often. Okay, so the Seven of Swords comes straight out of the gate. The Seven of Swords is a card that talks about trying to get away with something. So for me, it often comes up when people are self-sabotaging or somebody around you is not being very truthful with you. So it can be considered like a card of betrayal. The other thing, it can sort of signify things like stealing intellectual property, or sometimes I've seen it when I know somebody has to get out of a relationship, but they're really fearful of the person that they're leaving behind. So sometimes that sort of energy comes out then as well. So overall, it's a card of trying to get away with something. Not necessarily a bad card, although it does get a raw deal. Like I always say, there are no good and bad cards in the tarot. All of them carry a message. So for me, this can come up when it's quite innocent. It can mean that you are you could be planning a surprise birthday for somebody. So keep that in mind. But whatever it is, it seems to be in regards. So if you have a look at this, guy's looking straight back at this card here. You could be dealing with a Gemini, Leo. But for me, this is trying to make a choice about a relationship. Wow, then you have Scorpio energy coming through. There seems to be something that's happened in a connection, possibly with somebody you have great affection for, and you're not sure whether to move forward with them or not. You might actually be checking up on them here. So I'm not sure if you've got a relationship with somebody that sort of warrants you checking up on them or seeing if they're doing something wrong, or whether it is you are trying to find out about someone. Maybe it's you in that Seven of Swords energy where you're sort of trying to find out a bit more about a person, or find out a little bit more about what makes them tick, where they work, that sort of thing. But it feels more like you may be trying to find out about somebody because you've heard something, or you've seen something, or you've been gossiped to, or whatever, and you're trying to work out whether that is true or not. So let's get in a bit further. All right, so we have Aquarius energy coming through with the star. We have the Nine of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, and the Justice card. And that Justice card keeps coming up in that similar same position. I feel like here you may be single. You may be thinking about or having sort of ideas about somebody that you want something more with. Perhaps you've got a really good connection with this person. I don't know, it feels like you've perhaps been in hospital with them, or you've met them through some sort of big institution here. You could have met them through school, you could have met them through a government department, for example. And I feel like you're really interested in this person because this Seven of Cups has a real strong feeling of fantasy or desire. So for me, the Star card makes me feel like there was some sort of healing taking place when you met this person. I don't always know what that means, but it will resonate with somebody. You could have met them in a courtroom, you could have met them in a, as I said, in a government department, but there seems to be some sort of energy of meeting someone, maybe through your work. I feel like you're single, but somehow or another this person has piqued your interest. All right, so I have the Knight of Cups coming through with the Eight of Swords and the World card. Maybe you met them on your travels and they're just getting back in touch with you. Maybe you met them through travels and you are now sort of checking them out, trying to work out whether they're single, whether they're in a commitment or not. I feel like there's a little bit of sort of almost like anxiety, anxiousness around whether this person is somebody you want to move forward with. But you may be sort of stalking them in some way, shape or form. I don't mean that in an illegal way. I just mean you may be checking out their family Facebook page, that type of thing. All right, so we have the Ten of Pentacles with the Page of Cups and the Empress. I might just go through, I did this earlier, mini read, and we'll come back and have a look at some extra cards on this one. I think it's really interesting again. So we have some sort of situation here that maybe you're the one sneaking around or somebody's sneaking around keeping an eye on you. So it could be that way around too. I feel like this person definitely has interest in you. But I feel like somehow or another this crush or whatever it is they have on you or you have on them, you're wondering if there's going to be a new beginning or a restart. I definitely see that sort of energy coming through with the Page of Swords. It could be a Leo, Sag or Aries from your past, but that's possible. You could be sort of checking up on somebody that you knew from a while back to see whether they are still single or whether they, I feel like you're really, like to me, it feels like you're really interested in somebody, but you're not really sure whether they are available or not. There we go. Look at that. 3 and the 2 of Wands came out together here. Sort of like you're waiting for your ships to come in. Have you been waiting on a Leo, Sag or Aries from your past? Is somebody waiting on you? Are you in a commitment at the moment and this person is waiting on you to become single or vice versa? I feel like somehow or another you definitely feel ready here. So I feel like it's very possible you could have a Pisces around you too. We just say Libra, Aquarius, Aries energy, Taurus energy coming through here, and Libra energy. I said Libra. So I feel like here somebody is trying to either work out whether you are available or you are trying to work out whether your person's available because somebody wants to move forward with something here. Without any doubt whatsoever. This person's trying to make some sort of choice on whether they ask you. 2 cards jumped out again, and we have the Lovers and the Tower again. There seems to be some sort of choice involved here, but I don't think it's a choice as in like picking 2 options. What it feels like here is that somebody is maybe committed to somebody else and you are waiting for them to walk away or come in your direction. Or they could be waiting for you and keeping a check on you. There's definitely a feeling here with this Tower and the Lovers, unless you've heard something about this person, unless you've heard that they've recently become single and you've always been interested in them. Maybe that's what it is. Just one more. Thanks. Eight of Pentacles. Okay. Maybe you're waiting to find out whether this person is going to come in your direction. It doesn't feel like to me like you've actually had a relationship with them. It does definitely feel like you've crossed paths. So I feel like somehow or another, somebody is either checking up on you or you're checking up on somebody else to see whether they're available or not, or whether it's time to move on. All right, let's look at an oracle card. Oh, there it is. Transformation and change. I'm not quite sure what that's in relation to, but let's have a little look and see if the cards give me a little bit more information. There is no growth without change, but change can be scary. It means opening up to something new and different, and often involves taking a risk, which is something that many of us aren't comfortable doing. I feel like here, maybe you need to take action on what's going on rather than sort of tiptoeing around it. You know, in the beginning, that Seven of Swords, sometimes we can tiptoe around something because we don't want to be, you know, we don't have the courage to go forth and ask, or have the courage to speak up and say something. And I feel like a lot of the time we tiptoe around things rather than really sort of fronting up and asking those questions. Why do we not want to ask the questions? Maybe because we are scared of not getting the answers we want to get. So, you know, if you feel feelings for somebody and you are put in the position of trying to ask them, you know, how they feel or whatever, sometimes you don't want to know that they're not feeling the same way. So you avoid. But avoiding it makes you it leads you to more pain. Because if you avoid the answer, then you may be hanging on for a period of time without really knowing if that person feels the same way. I don't know why we avoid asking. A lot of the times people will say to me, you know, I need a reading because I want to know how my person feels. And I think, is there anything wrong with asking them how they feel? But we don't, because we're so scared they're going to turn around and say, I don't feel the same way about you. And then we've got to deal with all the pain. But in reality, the pain is better to deal with at that point than get another 3-4 months down, even longer down the track, to find out that person really isn't interested in you, or is not in love with you, or doesn't want to get married. I feel sometimes that younger people are being a little bit more outspoken nowadays in that they will ask. But I do feel people who are a little bit more mature tend to sort of not put themselves in that position. So if you really, really like someone, you don't want to find out that they don't feel the same way. But then again, is it better not to find out in the beginning rather than waiting till you get further down the road? And it happens the other way around. So if you're going out with someone and you don't feel the same way and they appear to be, you know, really into you, it's very easy for us to say, look, I'm really sorry, you're a really nice person, but I'm afraid I'm just not feeling it. We can do that with comfort. So when we're on the receiving end of it, we have this courage and bravado. But when we're asking the question of somebody else, we tend to be scared of the answers, which is quite interesting, isn't it? Human nature. But I feel like in this particular situation, Spirit is saying to you, you need to take a chance, step up and ask this person. Ask them how they feel, ask them what direction the relationship's going in. If you think they've separated from someone or that something's changed in their life and you're interested, flick them a text and say, hey, I've just heard that you've recently become single. I'm sorry to hear that your relationship didn't work out, or whatever. But somehow or another, I feel like you have to take action here. Will it turn out the way you want it to? Who knows? If the person tells you that they're not interested, at least you know, and you're not pining over them for, weeks and months and years. But somehow I feel like you're sort of stepping around it rather than fronting up to it. So I feel like you can take action on this. All right, thank you.